Ukrainian and US delegations meeting again today in Saudi Arabia after yesterday the US delegation met with Russian officials to discuss a limited ceasefire proposal that Washington hopes will open the way for broader peace negotiations. Now, White House sources saying progress is being made and that a positive announcement is expected in the near future. The Russian-US talks concluded late on Monday. Now, a joint draft statement was sent to Moscow and Washington. For now, though, the Kremlin has said in the last half hour that the content of the talks will not be made public. It comes, of course, as fighting continues as well on the ground in Ukraine. We're going to cross then to our senior reporter, Catherine Norris-Trent, who joins us now from the east of the country. Catherine, as those talks are underway, what's the reaction that you're hearing there from people in Ukraine?
Honestly, most people here in Ukraine that we've spoken to are deeply sceptical that these talks will come up with any lasting peace, even though, of course, those close to the front line hope that that will be the case. They're not holding out much optimism because they doubt the good faith of the Russian delegation, of Vladimir Putin. One woman we spoke to in a village not far from the front line said that she thought this war would only end with Putin's death. And so there's a fear here that these talks will be dragged out by the Russian side, that some technical agreements might be signed, such as avoiding striking energy structure. But, you know, we're coming into spring now in Ukraine, so that's perhaps less of a concern for Ukraine than it is during the deep of the cold winter. Also, it would benefit Russia because Ukraine has been using drones to strike oil facilities in Russia. So there's a feeling perhaps that this is low-hanging fruit that is being dealt with at these negotiations. The Black Sea initiative, the grain exporting initiative, was in place until Russia pulled out in 2023. So whilst the Trump administration may be able to hold these as progress, for the people on the ground in Ukraine, that's not what they want to hear. They want something lasting and they want security guarantees, and they're very sceptical that they're going to get those.
What about the military situation there, Catherine? Ongoing strikes we keep hearing about. What level are they at? Are they intensifying?
The fighting is very, very intense on some areas of the vast front line. So around the city of Pokrovsk, in the region where I am, I mean, there's a very fierce artillery battle going on there, day and night, with the Ukrainians trying to stop the Russians progressing, as they had done in recent months. Ukraine has managed to slow them somewhat, according to reports, and taken back some territory. But they're trying to see off Russian forces who have been advancing. They've taken back a little bit of land in the very northeast of Ukraine, in the Luhansk region, according to the Ukrainian army. There's also, of course, these drone strikes, which are just ever present in this conflict. So not only along the front lines, which we've witnessed for ourselves, but also overnight in towns and cities. And that was the case again last night. Basically, these Shahed-style drones, which Russia flies over Ukraine and targets cities from Kyiv to Kharkiv to Odessa in the south. It can be anywhere, which leaves people in this state of terror. And the Ukrainian air defensives trying to shoot them down as best they can. But every night we see 100 or so, at least, drones being flown in the skies over Ukraine towards cities.